My name is Raya. I was born in Prague. I am a Jew, and I survived terrorism.
Zuzana Winterova, 11 years old, perished at Auschwitz, October 4th, 1944. Gabriela Friova, 10 years old, perished at Auschwitz, May 18th, 1944. Francik Brozan, 14 years old, perished at Auschwitz, December 15th, 1943. Eva Belova, 15 years old, perished at Auschwitz, October 4th, 1944. Liana Franklova, 13 years old, perished at Auschwitz, October 19th, 1944. Alfred Weiskopf, 16 years old, perished at Auschwitz, December 18th, 1944. Hansa Kosek, 16 and a half years old, perished at Auschwitz, January 21st, 1945.
My name is Raya. I was born in Prague. Mother, father, Pavel, Erka, Irina, Hansa, they are all gone, and I'm alone. But that is not important. Only one thing is important, that I am a Jew, and that I survived. Terezin was a fortress built by Emperor Joseph II for his mother Maria Theresa. About 60 kilometers from Prague, it slept quietly under green valleys, under blue skies, until
March 5th, 1939, German Wehrmacht enters Prague. December 1st, 1939, Jewish children excluded from state elementary schools. June 14th, 1940, Auschwitz concentration camp set up. September 27th, 1941, Reinhard Heydrich orders mass deportation of Jews and establishes Terezin as a Jewish ghetto. October 16th, 1941, first transports leave Prague for Terezin. Among them were children.
Irina Sinkova?
Here in the back. Have the children arrived?
Yes, nearly 300 more than the earlier transport. Come along, we'll go with the others.
Later, when the workers return, we must find place for them in the barracks.
And tomorrow, when another trainload arrives?
We will find place for them. And here in the school, they must start living again. School, yes, you will go to school. Now go along to the bathhouse with Renka, and then supper, I promise.
Come.
You must go along to the bathhouse, dear.
they told Papa, come along now to the bathhouse. You must take a shower so that we don't get any sickness in camp. They told him to leave his clothes on the ground in the yard in front of him, and they told him to leave his shoes next to his clothes so he could find them again. But they took him to the gas. He never got his shoes.
Don't be afraid. This is a real bathhouse. You use soap and take a shower.
They took him to the gas. He never got his shoes.
That was Auschwitz. Here you are with friends. What's your name? I'm Irina Sinkova. I'm a teacher here at Terezin. You'll come to school with us, won't you? You're from Prague? I was taught at Prague. It's a beautiful city. I remember how frightened I was when I first came there. But after I made some friends, I was no longer afraid. And now you're not alone. You must not be afraid either. Now that you know my name, you must tell me yours. How can we be friends? I won't know what to call you.
My number is tattooed here.
Raya Englanderova. Come, Raya Englanderova. Let me tell you about our school. There's so much to do here. We have few books, but we have many songs. Every day, if you wish. You'll be coming here tomorrow, perhaps. Each one of the children have drawn a spring picture, see? We try to find as much paper as we can. Newspaper, wrapping paper, or some of the children bring their own. Would you like to start one of your own? Tomorrow, Raya?
My name is Raya. Slowly I began to heal, I and hundreds of children who passed through Irina Sinkova's school. It was months before I could say anything but, my name is Raya. I said it over and over to hear the sound of my own voice, perhaps just to make sure I still knew my name, Raya. It was an achievement for me. Irina knew it. She gave me paper and paint, and I wrote my name in stiff, crippled letters, Raya, Raya, Raya. It helped me to be sure I was still alive. Then one day, I suddenly wrote another name, Irina. And then I knew I was healed. I could paint and draw and speak again. I could tell Irina the things I was remembering. I was no longer afraid to remember. Raya, close the shutters and close the doors to the kitchen. The candles will go out. Papa's coming up the street. Aunt Vera's with him. I can see him from the back window. Raya, you must not open the back shutters. I told you that. Do you hear?
She'll get us all in trouble.
She'll be careful. Come now, Raya. It's time for Sabbath. Without Papa, he's coming. Then he'll be here. Come now, Raya. It's time. Papa at last.
All right, Mama, all right, I'm late, but...
I saw you from the window, so you weren't really late, Papa.
Of course not. As long as I'm in sight, I'm not late. Besides, I was delayed by your Aunt Vera.
I knew I would be blamed for it all. It's true this time, Anna. I kept him waiting, but you'll understand.
I knew you'd protect him.
Now, Anna, I'm here.
Pavel, come away from the window. The candles will go out.
Nazis. They're so close you can see the damn swastikas on the wings.
Pavel, the Sabbath.
Sabbath Eve, and the Nazis about to join us.
Pavel, if we are not careful...
They're gone now.
Be careful. We must all be careful. Tonight the planes, tomorrow the tanks.
Tomorrow, Joseph, what do you mean?
Mama, Pavel, all of you. Mama, today I lost my place.
Joseph, it can't be true.
We all knew it had to come.
But you were promised.
Promises? What do they mean? I must report to work at Little Mears. They're building a station.
But Papa, you're not a carpenter, you're a teacher.
Hush, Raya. Let your father explain.
I must learn manual labor. Imagine all of us at the school, all of us.
Building a station.
Today they came to the school. They gave us 1 hour to clear away books, papers, everything. 1 hour after all those years.
And the school?
Anna, wait. There is still more.
Mama, it may be that we will have to move again. It may be that we just must do so. Our landlord is German and we are...
Jews.
Pavel, try to have patience.
We are Jews, but they're relocating the boundaries, 12 blocks on either side, and we must all return back to the area of the old ghetto.
So once again? But Papa, they promised. How soon?
Tomorrow.
By sundown. Sabbath sundown, Anna.
They give us the Sabbath to get ready. It saves a working day. What did you tell him, Papa?
What should I have told him? Some say it is the last order.
They always say it's the last order, but every month the ghetto grows smaller and smaller.
What should I tell him? What is a Jew supposed to tell his German landlord?
They can't expect us to.
And Vera too, all the women, they released to work in the streets.
All of the men and women must report to work in the streets with the men.
Urka.
Urka too. And Mama, you must give up the school. Jews are no longer allowed to teach.
Urka, where is she?
They were released with the rest.
But we thought the council was going to appeal. Why do they sit around while the whole Nazi army marches in?
There have been meetings.
Talk.
There are considerations. So you will shout, attack. You and your friends, be brave.
It's better than hiding behind our prayer shawls.
Pavel, you go too far.
At least shouting lets the Nazis know we're alive.
You go too far, too far. You think we don't know last night your joke on the regional theater?
The regional theater, Pavel, you know Jews are not allowed to.
There's a little joke on the guards. What do you know? So we stoned out the lights in your street and attacked them from ambush in the theater arcade. They never knew what hit them.
A joke? Not so amusing this morning. Hannes was taken. His number was called before the rest.
Why Hannes?
Joseph, you're not telling us all.
A guard knows one of the council. He said he recognized his son amongst the pranksters.
But Hannes wasn't even there. He didn't even know about it.
A guard said he recognized him. There's no quarreling with the Nazi guard.
And what did the rest of the council do? They didn't protest? They didn't say anything?
Hannes is on the train now.
Without a word. What cowards?
Pavel!
No wonder the star is yellow.
You go too far, too far.
Papa, I'm sorry, but...
But you do not understand. You cannot.
I understand fully. I have this to remind me.
What is this talk? The star cannot destroy us, but I can tell you what can.
Anna, this boy doesn't know what he's saying.
I can tell you what can kill us. To start. No white bread, meat, eggs, fish, fruit, poultry.
Anna, please.
No, this will destroy us. To be denied the necessities of life.
I know, Mama.
And for your father, no beer, no cigarettes, all the little pleasures taken away.
I know that, Mama.
And for the big ones too. The school, the synagogue.
Mama, for God's sake.
No, I'm not yet finished. But being a Jew, it means for separation, the fear of separation. This will destroy us. The planes tomorrow, tanks, the Nazis, the guards, you and your foolish bravado. And we may be all lost. All lost.
I know that, Mama, but to just endure, it seems so...
Weak? To you it's weak, but think, the Nazis want us to work for them. And if we must work, then we must eat. There's that chance for life.
I don't call this living.
But while we live today and perhaps later.
Yes, if they bid us work, then we may eat, and we may survive. Together this war, it cannot last much longer.
All right, Papa.
All right, so no more jokes and no more shouting on the Nazi guards. In a few months we'll be back in our flat. Huber has promised to keep the furniture for us. He does not wish us any harm. It will be here when we come back.
Yes, Papa.
And you and Erica will be married, as promised. You will see.
Promises.
You will see. Come now, Mama, the lights.
Blessed art thou, our Lord, King of the universe, who has allowed us by.
The tanks and guards. They're in the street.
It's command us and command us to.
They're starting to cordon off the street.
They'll be here soon.
To kindle the Sabbath light.
The transports for Terezin left Prague the next day. We waited our turn and hoped. Families moved in together. We moved in with Erka's family and then moved again. Even then, we couldn't really believe it all. It was incredible. All of our friends lined the streets and watched us leave. 5,000 Jews. Eric Schlager called to me.
Raya, come with me to the cinema.
I can't. We have to go to the municipal building.
But why?
I don't know.
Well, didn't they say why?
They say we have to go. I ran ahead to join my mother. That was the day we left home.
Jews, Ausgang, step quickly. Men left, women and children right. Keep moving. Schnell, schnell.
Don't be afraid. We only have to wait for the train.
Where's Father? What happened to Father?
You'll see him again at camp.
It's been so long. I'm really thirsty.
I'm hungry. Please, is there bread?
Just wait a little while longer. We'll have plenty of food.
When will we be there? Will Father be there?
Patience.
Where are we going now? What are they doing in the room there?
We will see. We must wait our turn.
Are we going to work? They told us we would work together.
They told me to always remember this number.
Yes, you must remember that number. When they call you a roll call, you must remember to answer promptly.
They laughed and told us we were marked like pigs. They said it will never go away.
Quiet now. Don't be afraid. Remember, whatever you see, whatever is done, remember, we are together, and we shouldn't be afraid. Come, stay close together.
I was one of them. One who saw everything, the barbed wire fence, the rats, the lice. One who knew hunger, dirt, and smells. One who heard trains arrive and leave, screaming sirens, and the tread of heavy feet in the dark. I sat in Irina Sinkova's classroom to write and paint the story of those days. I never saw another butterfly, the very last, so richly, brightly, dazzling yellow. Perhaps if the sun's tears sing against a white stone, such a yellow is carried lightly, way up high. It went away, I'm sure, because it wished to kiss the world goodbye. For 7 weeks I've lived in here, penned up inside this ghetto, but I've found my people here. The dandelions call to me, and the white-candled chestnuts in the court. Only I never saw another butterfly. That butterfly was the last one. Butterflies don't live here in the ghetto.
It's been weeks since I came to this ghetto. I didn't know such a thing could happen to me. When I go home, I'm only going to eat white bread.
When I go home, I'm going to make my bed every day, clean.
When I go home, I'm going to drink hot chocolate in the winter. Lots of it.
When I go home, I'm going to have pretty white curtains. Rugs, too.
I'm gonna go play ball in the courtyard when I go home and shout if I want to.
I'm going to sit very quiet and read storybooks as long as I want to when I go home. All night, maybe.
I'm going to play piano when I go home, and everyone will sing, and we won't care how noisy we are.
When I go home, I've lived in Terezin for more than a year. In Terezin, in the Black Town now, and when I remember my old home so dear, I can love it more than I did, somehow. Ah, home, why did they ever tear me away? Here the weak die, easy as a feather, and when they die forever. I'd like to go back home again. It makes me think of sweet spring flowers. Back when I was home, it never seemed so dear and fair.
Everything here is so strange. Different from anywhere else in the world.
People here walk on the street, not just on the sidewalk, but there are too many of us to even fit on the sidewalk. Cars do not drive here, so nothing can run over us.
We sleep in bunks, and everywhere lots of people are packed in.
Mothers and fathers don't live together, and children live away from them in homes, or whatever you call it.
When you hear the word home, you imagine something quite nice. But here, it's all quite different.
The buildings now are fuller, body smelling close to body. The garrets scream with light for long, long hours.
This evening, I walked along the street of death. On one wagon, they were taking the dead away.
I haven't seen my mother for so long. I don't even know if she has arrived. Irina says that somewhere she's looking for me, and if I stay here and keep well, she will find me. I wonder where she is. And Father, and Grandpa. He told me to wait for him at the station, but they wouldn't let me. I think maybe he never came at all.
I've never been away from home before, not even over the holidays, because I have no aunt or uncle to visit in the country, so this is my first trip away from my parents. It's so strange. I've learned here to appreciate ordinary things that, if we had them when we were still free, we wouldn't even notice them at all, like riding a bus or a train, or walking freely along the road, to the water, say, or to go buy ice cream. Such ordinary things are now out of our reach.
In Terezin, in the so-called park, a queer old granddad sits, somewhere in the so-called park.
He wears a beard down to his lap, and on his head a little cap. Hard crust he crumbles in his gums. He's only got one single tooth. Instead of soft rolls, lentil soup. Poor old graybeard.
May I call you my grandfather? You have no little boy, and I have no grandpa.
Tuesday, March 6, 1943. Yesterday I went to visit my uncle in the Sudeten barracks, and there I saw them throw potato peelings on the ground, and people threw themselves in piles and fought for them.
Tuesday, April 6, 1943. Tomorrow the SS men are coming, and no children are allowed to go out on the street. Daddy won't know this, but I'll die of hunger by evening. Wednesday, April 7th, 1943. I missed Daddy yesterday, but I didn't cry because the other children couldn't see their parents either.
We aren't allowed to go out of the barracks. We can't go out into the street without a pass, and children don't get a pass. They say this can last for a week, or even months, like a bird in a cage.
Last night I had a beautiful dream. I was home. I saw our flat and our street. And now I'm disappointed and out of sorts because I woke in a bunk instead of my own bed. This isn't a home anymore. It's a hospital. Everyone avoids us. Half the children are sick in bed, and the number of the sick goes up every day. Rooms full of patients, and the doctor does not know what to do.
Typhoid raged through Terezin. The hospitals and infirmaries are crowded. They even cleared out a whole house and made a typhoid ward of it. Everywhere you see the sign, Ashtung, typhus, and at every water pump and faucet, don't forget to wash your hands. But anyway, the water hardly ever runs.
I caught 6 fleas and 3 bedbugs today. Isn't that a fine hunt? I don't need a gun, and right away I get supper. A rat slept in my shoe. Walter, our house starter, killed it. And now I'm gonna pitch a tent for the night with Evan.
Things are terrible here now. There is a great deal of tension among the older children. They are sending transports into the new ghetto, into the unknown, and 1,500 Jews will arrive tonight. They are from Poland. We are making toys, little bags, and nets for them.
They came yesterday. No one was allowed near them, but we managed to get some news from the barracks. None of the children speak Czech, and we don't know if they're Polish children or Jewish or what. You can see them a little from the fortress wall, and they came this morning to the reception center.
They look awful. You can't guess how old they are. They all have old faces and tiny bodies. They're all bare-legged, and only a very few have shoes. They return from the reception center with their heads shaved. They have lice. They all have such frightened eyes.
The poor thing stands there vainly. Vainly he strains his voice. Perhaps I'll die. Then can you say how beautiful is the world today?
We got used to standing at line at 7 in the morning, and then again at noon, and then again at 7 in the evening. We stood in long lines with a plate in our hand, and they'd give us some water with a little salty or coffee flavor or a few potatoes. We got used to sleeping without a bed, to saluting every uniform, to not walking on the sidewalk, and then again to walking on the sidewalk. We got used to undeserved slaps, blows, executions, and seeing people die in their own excrement. We got used to seeing the piled up corpses and coffins full of dead bodies. We got used to seeing the sick in bed amidst the dirt and filth and the helpless doctors. We got used to that. From time to time, 1,000 unhappy souls would arrive, and then another 1,000 unhappy souls would go away.
Sunday, September 5th, 1943. This was the day. But it is all over now. They are already in the train and you can see them. Pop, Alina, Elila, and Popinka going.
Everyone gave Elila something. She was such a poor thing. At 6 this evening, they reported for the transports, each one somewhere else. The departing was hard.
Monday, September 6, 1943. I got up at 6 to see Zdenka, and when I got up to the trains, the last people were just going through the back gates and getting on. They were all boarded up, so no one could get to them, and so they could not run away. But I jumped over, and I ran up, and on one of the carts, Zdenka was riding. Where did Zdenka go?
To the transport to the east.
Why?
To work and resettlement to
Auschwitz.
Auschwitz?
She will not come back. Yuri told us, you die if you go to Auschwitz.
Raya.
It is true. When you die, the ovens and the chimneys, when you die, you burn to ashes.
We do not know this is true.
I know, and you think because we are children that we do not know.
What have you heard? Where?
Yuri told us. He's from Warsaw. He was there, and he escaped, and he told us. We're going to die.
Right, wait, you're only afraid.
Irina, I want to go home. I hate this place and everything.
Everything?
Yes, what's the point of it all if we're going to die? Last night, Zdenka, we sang songs together and shared our bread, and now she's gone.
Oh.
And Eva and Miriam and Mariana.
I miss them too.
And Gabriella and Zuzana.
I know.
We'd promised that we'd keep together, that next year in Prague, we'd go to school, together. And now there's nothing left.
They were your friends. You loved them. In this very room, you worked together. They're pictures. See?
They will burn them too.
Right, listen to me. You are no longer a child. This minute, you are no longer a child. And so I tell you. I have a child. She is 9 years old. She was torn away from my arms by an angry guard and thrown into the train. I tried to throw myself after her, but I was thrown back in the car. I wanted to die until I came to Terezin. But then I found thousands of children waiting for me. And then I knew I must not die. Do you understand? You are no longer a child, and so I tell you, I have a child. And she lives on when I comfort another child. Or dry her tears.
Fear. This is half the story of Terezin. Its beginning, but not its end. I knew that word because I was a child here. And I learned another word from mother and father, Pavel and Urka, from Irina Sinkova. The word was courage, and it helped me to find the determination to live, to believe in life.
I believe in life, I and Pavel. Pavel, I'm coming with you. I sorted everything myself and I have a number in your transport.
Your mother and father need you. Go back to the barracks.
Pavel, you're closer to me than parents. I must come with you.
Rabbi, we want to... Could you marry us, Rabbi?
I can. Have you a wedding ring?
Yes.
How much time?
An hour at most.
That will be enough. Tell me your Hebrew names, and we must call your parents and some friends. Dearly beloved, in the Bible we read 3 words, the meaning of which we have never understood as well as today. They are elect, raid, violita. Go, lower yourself, and you will rise. We too have sunk very low, but risen very high, because we did not let our sad fate overwhelm us. We have not lost hope that right will finally be victorious over injustice, friendship over hostility, love over hatred, peace over war. If these terrible times had not have come, you 2 young people may never have met and loved and decided to share your lives. And so you may say, good may arise out of evil. Happy are those who live in your house and praise you all day long. Happy the pilgrims inspired by you with courage to make the journey. As they walk through the valley of sorrow, they make it a place of springs. Yahweh, Sabaoth, hear my prayer. Listen, God of Jacob, God our shield. Now look on us and be kind to your anointed. For God is battlement and shield, conferring grace and glory. Yahweh withholds nothing good from those who walk without blame. As they walk through the valley of sorrow, they make it a place of springs. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, he who has created the fruit of the vine.
Blessed art thou, our Lord, our God, King of the universe, he who has created the fruit of the vine.
Thou art consecrated to me with this ring as my wife, according to the faith of Moses and Israel.
Thou art consecrated to me with this ring as my wife, according to the faith of Moses and Israel.
May the Lord protect you and bless you. May the Lord turn in loving kindness to you and grant you peace. Amen.
One by one the transports came. Mother, father, they went. Pavel and Urka, they went. Everyone I knew and loved in Prague. There was no one who could remember me before I'd come here as a child of 12. But there were many left standing as the train started up, cars crowded, boarded, and sealed. And we turned and found each other.
Yuri? They said they wouldn't take him. He was a plumber, an electrician. He was so clever, they said they wouldn't take him.
Everyone goes, Yuri, was he your friend?
He was my brother.
You're Hansa Kosek. I've heard of you. I'm Raya Glendarova. My brother, Pavel and Urka.
I know. They've just got married, and now what's the good of that?
They're still together.
But what's the good of that?
Together they'll not be afraid. That's the good.
I'm laughing at you because you're a girl. You don't know the first thing about any of this.
Well, that's easy for you to say. I've heard how you get by the guards. It's easy for a boy.
Maybe. But my father was beaten to death before my eyes. I saw it. I was so afraid I couldn't even move. But I didn't run. I never understood until my father dying told me. You're a good boy, Hansa. You are afraid, but you are not a coward.
I'm sorry. Well, it's late. I have to go.
Where are you going?
Number 25. Where do you live?
House number 2. On the other side near the wall.
There are 30 girls in our group, most of us from Prague. Irena's in charge of the whole compound. She lives with us.
We live alone. We elect our own leader. We have meetings. Secret ones.
Don't you have one of the older men there?
What for? We're all old enough. We work in the fields.
So do we. Some of us. I do. I'm old enough.
We do everything ourselves. I was elected leader, so I'm in charge.
But don't you go to school at night after work?
We do, sometimes. The other times we have meetings with the leaders from the boys' home, and we talk and plan.
What?
Like someone gets an idea and we talk about it. Or someone does something that the rest of us don't like and we tell them to quit it or else. Things like that. We're working on something right now.
For the boys' home?
Well, not just for the boys. You see, we're going to make a newspaper and post the news throughout the camp.
Have you got a printing press?
No, but it's not that kind of paper. You see, we're going to make copies of the news and post them throughout the barracks. It was my idea.
Will you put one in the girls' home?
I suppose we could. I never really thought about it before.
I'd copy it over. I could do that.
Well, I'd have to talk it over with the rest. We're having a meeting about the paper right now if you'd like to come.
And so Vidam was born and lived for 3 years and helped us live. Each week, a copy was posted in our barracks, and later when it was read aloud, no one was missing. It was an invisible line of communication between the barracks so that the youth of Terezin grew up together.
Raya,
Yes, I can only stay a few minutes. Is this week's Vidam ready?
here it is.
I'll take it and get started.
Oh, wait. I was thinking. I've talked it over with some of the boys. We're going to be able to run some of the poems when there's room.
Good. Irina will be glad of that. She said it might happen. The smaller girls got all excited.
Well, there won't be room for many.
I'll tell her.
Oh, wait. I saw you in the field today. I wanted to say something, but I couldn't.
I know. I saw you across the road.
Maybe we could find a way to meet there? In case there are messages or anything.
The guards are everywhere. It wouldn't be safe.
Then we meet here, at night.
The guards think we're inside the barracks.
I'm not afraid, are you?
No. Yes, I guess I am. They'd beat you.
It wouldn't be the first time. I always get back up again.
Someday.
Someday, maybe I won't, I suppose. What difference does it make?
Don't talk like that. I'll go if you do.
Wait, I'm only teasing.
It would be lonesome without you. I mean, the boys need you, and the paper. Irina says you're the only one she can trust to bury the poems and the drawings.
Others would do that.
It would be hard. And I mean, these past few months we become good friends. I'd miss you too.
I meant to say that first.
I know. Good night.
Good night. Raya,
Yes?
I've got some flowers for you.
Hansa, if you get caught,
Look, over there, in the square in front of the tower.
the prisoners aren't allowed there.
Well, they can't stop us from looking. Look, do you see all the flowers and the butterflies?
I see them.
Well, I'm giving them to you. So every time you pass, you'll say,
They're mine. Hansa gave them to me. All the flowers and all the butterflies. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Hansa, Irina gave me a book of poetry. I left it for you by the shed. I want you to read one special poem.
I know, I saw it. And I left one for you too. Look for it. Raya, look.
What is it?
Careful. Open it. It's very expensive.
It must be, since you crawled through the barracks to bring it. Why couldn't you have left it in the shed?
It can't be left. Not around here.
Hansa, sausage. You're wonderful. And sausage I haven't, but where did you get it?
I liberated it.
Liberated it?
Actually, I took it.
Stole it? No wonder it looks so good. You're so brave.
I won't be here for a few days.
Why? Where are you going?
Don't take any chances. Coming to meet me, I mean.
Hansa, what is it?
They're building something outside of the fortifications. They're picking the strongest, so I'll be chosen.
What if something happens?
Maybe a chance for more food. Maybe another sausage.
I don't care about the sausage. Hansa, I'm afraid.
Don't be. It's some kind of walled courtyard. Nothing much can go wrong. Well, I better go.
Goodbye then. I'll be waiting. Waiting. Please come back.
Raya, a message came through.
What is it? Tell me.
The boys are back, all of them.
I've been waiting for 2 days, waiting. I couldn't think of anything else but Hansa.
What would you have done? In weeks and months have passed.
Waited.
Maybe you'd not come back.
I would have waited and held my breath for tomorrow, then waited again.
Waiting days are long days, Raya. You will learn to stop thinking of tomorrow and keep alive today. That's the secret of waiting. Remember that? Keep alive today.
I don't know how. I'm afraid.
Afraid of tomorrow? Then think of today. Today, you think you can live until night?
Yes.
And at night, you think you can live until noon?
Yes.
And at noon, in the heat and the stench and the weariness, you think you can live until night?
Yes, yes.
then you will survive. Each day you find some reason.
As you have done.
Yes. Somehow, one of us is sure to survive. One of us is teach the children how to sing and write and do sums on paper and pencil and draw. So we keep alive each today.
The singing, the reading, the learning, the poetry, and the drawings. This was part of our survival. In spite of the SS men and the guards against teaching, Irina kept school in the children's barracks. An older boy was always on guard, and at sight of the SS men he whistled, and teaching turned into children's games. Games were permitted, but learning was a crime for Jews. We had books. Each of us had brought at least one book with him. Irina brought Ludwig, the children's opera, and she did it with the children. In Terezin, Ludwig was one of the things one had to see. Thousands heard its melodies, and hundreds experienced in the rehearsals and performances the strongest impressions of their short lives. The story was an old one, about the legends of the birds of Cheb, and the villain, Ludwig the carpenter, who hated them because of their song. He built boxes and cages for the birds, and trapped them one by one, until Cheb lay sad and silent without a song. But Pepasek, the smallest child in the village, gathered the children together, and they marched, singing into the woods, freeing the birds and routing the wicked Ludwig. The lesson: alone we are helpless, but together we are not afraid of Ludwig or of anyone.
Ludwig the carpenter, warning we bring you. Children of Cheb, come to claim stolen song. Close both your ears while our merry song sing you. Marching together we'll drive you along. Out of our village we'll run you and rout you, freeing our birds from your cages and bars. Children together, we don't fear to flout you. Standing together, the victory is ours.
Ludwig, with the rehearsals and the performances, was our hope. We could not let it die. The trains carried away children to die, and new ones took the empty places, but Ludwig stayed, and the children found strength and courage in playing their parts in it. I know a game. I'll bet that lady with the little girl over there will turn around. Or maybe that gentleman. I'll hum a motif from our opera, and no matter where they are, they hear it. That would not work with anywhere else. You can try it anywhere in the world. Just hum a motif from our opera, and they are sure to come. The few who remember Terezin.
Eva Heska, 14 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Ella Hedorova, 13 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Hannes Hachenberg, 14 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Ida Fisko, 15 years old, Rika Friedmanova, 12 years old, Franzik Bass, 14 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Friedrich Hoffman, 12 years old, Joseph Polak, 14 years old, Dita Valentikova, 13 years old, Nina Liderova, 14 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Eva Steinova, 13 years old, Hanna Lusova, 15 years old, perished at Auschwitz. Hansa Bosek.
Hansa?
Raya.
Hansa, where are you?
I'm here on the other side of the wall. Don't move. I have a number in this transport.
No.
I have a number and I must report.
Hansa, no.
The news is good.
What do you mean?
The war is coming to an end.
Hansa, where are you? I'm coming with you.
No, you must wait. For me.
I cannot live my life waiting. Hansa, please, where are you?
I'm with you. Wherever you are. Listen, Raya.
I'm listening.
I have something I've never told you. About the poems for the contest.
You never handed it in.
I know. They were supposed to be about a memory. Only they were about you.
You never told me.
I'll leave it here, by the post on the corner. Read it sometime. Only this time when you read it, don't laugh like you did once with the others.
I remember that. And I won't laugh. I won't. I promise.
Raya, when you read this...
I won't laugh. I promise.
Goodbye.
Hansa? Hansa? Goodbye.
Memory. Come tell a fairy tale about a girl who's lost and gone. Tell about the Golden Grail. Bid the swallow. Bring her back to me.
Fly close to her and ask her soft and low if she is well. Ask too before you go if I am still her dearest precious dove. And hurry back, don't lose your way, so I can think of other things.
But you were too lovely perhaps to stay. I loved you once. Goodbye, my love.
Goodbye. Goodbye. It should have been the motto of Terrazin, and it should have been written over the entrance instead of the lie that greeted newcomers, work makes us free. It was goodbye, not work, that made us free. It was the only thing we knew would never change. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. It freed us all. What was there to fear when you'd said goodbye to everything you ever loved?
Raya England Rova. You know by now that my number 102866 was called. When you come to school today, you'll see that I have gone. You have questions, but I will answer them before you ask. Once I saw an old Bible picture. Satan was about to pierce the saint through his lance. But the saint was sitting comfortably there if he had nothing to do with him. I used to think it was impossible for medieval painters to paint feelings such as fear, astonishment, or pain. The saints showed no emotion in their own manadorm. Now I understand the saints better. What could they do? I've wrapped up the last of the poems and pictures in my shawl. See that these are buried with the rest. Somewhere. I have nothing else to give you but this. You and all the children have made of Terrazin. The fields, the flowers, and all the butterflies. Goodbye.
Irina Sinkova, perished at Auschwitz, January 28, 1945. And I have survived. Mother, father, Pavel, Irka, Zdenka, Hansa, Irina too, in the end, perished at Auschwitz. And I, Ryan Glendarova, returned after the liberation of Prague, alone.
For 7 weeks I have lived in here, penned up inside this ghetto. But I have found my people here.
Now you are not alone, and you must not be afraid.
We will return. You will see. Somehow, we will return.
I missed Dad yesterday, but I didn't give in to my sadness.
Some Polish children are coming. We are making little toys, bags, and nets for them.
I went to see Zdenka. She cried and laughed at the same time. She was so happy to see someone before she left.
I believe in life, I and Pavel.
Now you are not alone, and you must not be afraid.
Yes, I will marry you, if you wish to go together.
I never understood it until my father dying told me. You were a good boy, Hansa. You were afraid, but you were not a coward.
Somehow, one of us is sure to survive. One of us must teach the children how to sing and do sums on paper and pencil and draw.
He doesn't know the world at all, who stays in his nest and doesn't go out. He doesn't know what birds know best, nor what I want to sing about, that the world is full of loveliness.
I'm with you, Raya. Wherever you go.
As they walk through the valley of sorrow, they make it a place of springs.
I have nothing else to give you but this. The fields, the flowers, and all the butterflies.
Mother, father, I hear you. Hansa, I hear and I remember. Irina Sinkova, I taught the school children. My name is Raya. I was born in Prague. I'm a Jew, and I survived terrorism, not alone and not afraid.